What's in your cabinet? If you're like me, you probably have a bunch of stuff in your kitchen cabinets that you probably don't need, you probably don't use, and you probably could toss out. So we're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by housecleaning360.com. This is a resource hub that partners homeowners with house cleaners. So if you are a homeowner and you need a professional house cleaner, or you need a professional organizer, or you need somebody else that services the home, check it out at housecleaning360.com. And if you are a service professional, race over there and list your business. There are free and paid listings to help you so that customers can find you when they need your service. All right, on to today's show. This is an awesome show, backed by popular demand. We have the amazing Liz Trotter. She is a partner in one of the largest cleaning companies across America. They've got branches all the way from Portland to Dayton, Ohio. And so she knows a lot about cleaning and a lot about kitchen cabinets. Now, it's interesting because as I've gone through my own cabinets over the years, I find lots of stuff that just flat out should not be there. And I would like to just point fingers and go, who put that in there? But chances are probably I did when I wasn't paying attention, or someone was coming over and I wanted to hurry and tidy up and I just kind of shoved stuff in the cabinets. Yeah, we've all done that, right? All right, so anyway, how do you tidy your cabinets? What's in your cabinets? And what are some tips for keeping your cabinets clean? Please help me welcome the amazing Liz Trotter. And joining us today is the amazing Liz Trotter from Castle Keepers. And today she's going to share with us some secrets that you need to know about your cabinets. Because we all have cabinets, and if you're like me, when you start cleaning them out, you find that you have like 4 cheese graters. And you're like, what? Where did these all come from? All right, so please help me welcome Liz Trotter.
Thanks, Angela. I love being here. I really appreciate you doing this for everybody because it's a huge help for me too. Love your videos, in case I haven't said that before.
Well,
All
thank you
right.
so much. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to lately.
Let's see. Well, I'm always doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, having businesses across the country. One of the things that we're focusing on right now, and this is going to date this video, but we're going through a hurricane in our Charleston office. So that's where a lot of focus is right now, is on that and hoping everybody stays safe.
Are your
So
people safe so far?
yeah, yeah, everybody's good. It looks like everything's going to miss us and we're all going to be good, but just hoping for everybody to be safe. Yeah.
All righty. All right, well, what's in your cabinet?
All right. Well, you know what? I just got to say to everybody, my cabinets are amazing. Like if you open up any cabinet in my house, you will be so freaking impressed. But took me 60 years to get here. Okay. Well, let's just be clear about that. And they were not so amazing when all of my kids were at the house. But they were always in the process of getting amazing. And there were a few things that I think I can share that will really, really help people. The first thing is like whatever's going to be in that cupboard, decide what's going to be in that cupboard up front and then only put those things in that cupboard. So if you end up with something you don't know where it goes, don't shove it somewhere. I used to be that person that would take something and would shove it in a drawer or shove it in a cabinet or just shove it somewhere and just get it out of my face because I don't like stuff on my counters. That's the worst. Better to just leave it on the counter and let it irritate me or you until you decide where it's going to permanently live. So where does that cheese grater live? Because that is sort of the first step to getting all of your cupboards in order. And how it works is this: if I have a cheese grater and it's on my counter, I don't know where it lives, but I finally decide, okay, cheese graters are all going to live in this one cupboard. Then every time I find a cheese grater, it's like, oh, cheese graters belong over there. It won't take very long before I'll find I have 2. So I'll never end up with 5, right? There won't be 5 cheese graters in one cabinet because as soon as I put the one in, I'll see the other one. And that will make me not buy more cheese graters. And now I have more room for other things in my cupboard. So just that one thing, deciding where things live, solves a whole host of issues. So do you really have 5 cheese graters, Angela?
I had 4, and I don't cook.
And so every time I would need a cheese grater, I'm like, well, surely I don't have a cheese grater because I don't cook. So then I would go buy one. And then when I cleaned out my cupboards, sure enough, I had four. And I was like, what on earth? Why do I have four rolling pins and four cheese graters? So I got rid of them all. And now I just buy shredded cheese.
Yeah, I love shredded cheese too. Whoever invented that, that was a good invention.
So let
Um,
me ask you this. What about keeping dishes and things in your cabinets close to the area that you're going to use them? How do you do that?
so I think people that are in any business that you're in, you know that you need to keep the tools of your trade, whatever it is, close to the work that's being performed. So that's how I think about it. I like to keep my pans by my stove because that's where I'm going to use them. I like to keep my drinking glasses by the water because that's where I'm going to use them. I like to keep the plates by my serving area because that's where I'm going to use them. Silverware, same thing. So that's how I decide where I'm going to put stuff, is based on where it's going to be when I need it. For example, I don't use my food processor very often. I use it about once a month when I make the most amazing salsa. But because I only use it once a month, it's all the way around the island in my kitchen, all the way on the other side, under an overhang, behind a stool, in a cabinet. It's a huge pain to get to, but I only have to do it once a month. If I had my toaster that I like to use every day over there, I'd probably give up toast. Right? Not doing it. Or my coffee pot. I don't even know what I do, right?
So keep the things that you use the most closest
Yes.
to you, and then keep
Yes.
everything else in the area in which you're going to use it. That makes perfect
Yeah.
sense.
Or really high or really low, the places that are harder to access, right?
What do you do as far as rotating like spices and stuff that could expire? I know when I cleaned out my cupboards, I found stuff that kind of embarrassed to say how old it was, but I was pretty sure that it was no good anymore, so I just tossed
Yeah.
it.
So I don't. I don't do that. But what I can tell you is I only have stuff in my cupboard that I use. If I'm not using it, then I get rid of it. I donate it, give it to somebody else. I do something. Like to keep only the things that I use. And this is going to sound a little obsessive compulsive, but my spices are in alphabetical order. Not strict alphabetical order, but all of the A stuff is here and the B's and the C's because I want to be able to find cilantro when I need it, not have to search my whole. And I have a lot of spices. I love spices. That's how I cook. So they're in alphabetical order. There are also lots of great ways to organize spices. Tons
And
of great
you got
racks.
to share us what's the secret because I'm using Lazy Susans just as a survival tool.
Yeah, and lazy Susans are okay, but they're like lower down on the list, right? Okay, my favorite, oh, I have two favorites. My son-in-law, my daughter and son-in-law, but it's my son-in-law's thing because he's the organizer, straightener in that family. He has a rack that is hangs in his pantry. It's a skinny little rack. It's only this wide and maybe this deep, and it's full length from top to bottom. And so it holds a lot of spices. And he just has that on the wall in his pantry. Super convenient. He basically has a system as well, not alphabetized, but all of his hot spices are here. He likes hot stuff, all of his garlic, all of his salts. So that I think is awesome. I love that. And if I had a larger pantry, I'd have that. The second thing is my brother has this one, which I really, really love. And he has these racks that you buy, they store horizontally but they slide out on the little rack and they tip down so all of your spices are right there. So he has hundreds, literally hundreds of spices in an area that's about this big, by as deep as his cabinet, and that's it. They just pull out, slide down, and there's like 4 rows of spices on here, and they are because they're deep all the way to the back of his cabinet. Those things are amazing. You can find them on Amazon.
I love stuff like that.
Oh
It's
my
just
gosh, it's so
every
awesome.
every time I see something new like that, I'm like, I gotta have that. That makes so much
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. And it really is as amazing as it looks. Feels rickety when you first get it, but oh, it works really, really well.
So I got a question for you because when I got married, I had a set of dishes and my husband had a set of dishes. And
Uh,
then I had a set of dishes I inherited from my grandmother. And I had all these different sets of dishes.
yeah.
And what do you do for dishes that you kind of sometimes use like at Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever? You got lots of sets of dishes. Do
Yeah.
you just give yourself permission to get rid of them, or do you just try to make room for them, or how does that work?
So my basic rule around my whole house is if I'm not going to use it in a year, they get donated to somebody who will appreciate them more than I do. If I am going to use them every year, but maybe once or twice around the holidays, something like that, then I hide them in some place that doesn't get used very often, a very high shelf on top of cabinets. In that cabinet I told you about that's all the way around my island, behind that chair, underneath that edge, right? So someplace like that. That's my rule of thumb. If I'm going to use them every day, then I got them right there where I'm going to use them every single day.
Oh, those are such helpful tips. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining us today and for
Yeah.
giving us an insight into how we can organize and clean up our cabinets.
My pleasure.
Alrighty, and that was the amazing Liz Trotter from Castle Keepers. And I'm going to leave links in the show notes to everything that she talked about so that you guys can learn a little bit more about her simple solutions and also find out more about the Castle Keepers Institute. All right, if you found this helpful, please pass it on to a friend. If we've earned your subscription, please subscribe. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.